Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to my another YouTube channel. And in this video I'm gonna tell you how you can zoom in and zoom out on images or any kind of widget, in fact, in Flutter. And this video I am making because many people will, if you will be doing, let's say, real world application, then you will find, especially in case of e-commerce applications, that you have an image and you now want to zoom in or zoom out so that your user can see it properly. So for that particular use case, if you have that, then you can watch this video. And before watching this video, please subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber already. Also press the bell icon to get future updates. And so this is my Flutter utils collection code, where I have created one page which is zoom page, as you can see. And it's doing nothing, by the way. It's just having a scaffold, and inside that, in the center, we have a cached network image. Okay. And now you might be wondering now how we are going to do, how we are going to do the zoom in and zoom out for this image. Okay. And it's gonna be not tough, honestly. So I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it for sure. So what I'm gonna do here, first of all, I'll say that do one thing, take two variables. First one would be, and I'll also tell you how to rotate the images as well, so that there can be some situations when you want to rotate the image so that it can look better. Right now I'm just fetching this image from Unsplash, and I'm using cached network image. So while proceeding, let's just create let's say a scale property. Okay, so I can say double scale, and by default the scaling is, let's say, 1.0. 1.0 means the default scaling, which is like the normal image which we get. And another one will be, let's say, previous scale, the scaling which was, let's say, when you will perform some scaling, then what would be the previous scale. We also track that, so that's why previous scale here. Now these are the two things which you definitely need. Okay. And to perform any kind of gesture, like if right now I am trying to perform some gesture on the image which you cannot see, but I'm trying to perform, but it's not working, because for zooming in you have to pinch on your screen with your fingers, and that's what we do, right? So now what else we can do? So guys, for that I would say that let's do one thing. Let's wrap this particular image, or in fact the entire this padding, with gesture detector. Okay, so what we will do, we will just wrap it with a widget, and we will name it gesture detector. So now once you will wrap it with the gesture detector, you can access different gestures. And yeah, this is what you do, right? Now what we want to do, we have many, if you'll see here, then we have many things like on pen and on scale start. Okay, on horizontal drag and on vertical drag. And so when we are talking about scaling, then definitely we have few things like you saw on scale start, which I'm just gonna show you. On scale start, which means it is related to scaling, right? Then the second one is on scale update, and then the third one is on scale end. Okay, we need all these three because we have to perform scaling. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say first of all on scale start, and then I'll see what it takes. It takes scale start details. Okay, and initial scale, as you can see, is 1.0, which we already gave. So I'm just gonna say scale start details, and I can say it details. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna print the details as well, so that we can see what's actually happening. And then what I'll do, the current scale. Okay, so what I can do here is I'm gonna assign my previous scale to the current scale. Every time when a scaling will start, whatever the current scale would be, I will give it to my previous scale, so that my previous scale can always be aware about what's happening. Okay, and then I'm just gonna do a set state. Okay, now let me just show you when I try to pinch my finger here, nothing is still working because scaling is starting but nothing ending. And if I go here, okay, I think it's not working because my app is broken somehow. So let's restart the app first. Okay, so basically what we are doing, we are assigning, whenever scaling will start, then it will change like with every movement of your finger. So every time when we allot a new scale, so we will give new scale to this particular scale, and whatever the previous scale was, we will assign to this scale, and that we will do on scale update, so that you can see what's actually happening. And once something is like everything is done, then we will set the previous scale to 1.0 again. Okay, now let me just try to do something with my fingers. I'll also open this. So as you can see, as soon as I touch it, it is giving me some offset points, right? Which means when I do some movements with my finger, it's something is happening, but the image is not moving at all, right? So for that, what I can do, I'll just use one more property, which is on scale update. Let's see what it takes. It takes scale update details, which is again interesting. And this time also I'm gonna just call it details. And now I have the details, so I'm gonna print these details as well. And then what I can do, we can do something like, we can have scale. So now this is my current scale which I have. What I'll do, I'll just use my previous scale, okay, and I'll multiply it with my details scale, so it will give me a new scale. And then I'm just gonna do a set state, okay. And now if I'll try to drag it, let me just open the console, let me just clear it. Now you will see it's changing a lot, but the image is still not moving. And why that's happening, I'm just gonna tell you, because we cannot perform anything here, right? That's why it's not moving at all. Okay, that's fine. Now what we will do, this looks amazing, but it's not working because of few reasons. I'm just gonna tell you. So scaling is being done, as you can see, it is scaling. And now what I'll do, once my scaling will be on scale end, which means as soon as I leave my fingers, then it will give me scale and details. I'm gonna just give you all the details very soon. Like I will disable all these methods and will show you how it works once we get the change in the image. And we are gonna print the details again. This looks good to me. And then I just when everything ends, then I just want to assign the previous scale back to 1.0, and I will leave the current scale to whatever it is, because once I remove my finger, I don't want to set it to again to the last stage or the default state. I want to leave it like this, how user is moving it. So that's what we will do. And here again, I'll do some set state. Again, I'm gonna just move my fingers, and I'm gonna just start. And you can see it's moving. And as soon as I end it, you can see velocity 0.0. Now why it's not moving? Because whenever we are scaling, the scaling property is changing, but we are not doing anything with the image itself, which means until unless we will do something with the image, how it will know that what it has to do. So what we are gonna do in that case, because we are using set state, so every time this image is rebuilding, but nothing is happening, so we have to wrap it with another widget, and that widget is transform widget. Okay, so transform widget has this property which we call transform, and we can pass something like a matrix 4 here, which have a diagonal 3. Okay, and it takes, if you'll see, it takes a vector value which accepts scaling. Okay, vector 3. So we can say vector 3, which means it will take 3 parameters. Okay, and if you'll try to use this, then this vector 3 is not available. Why? Because it's a part of a library which we call vector math 64. So we need to import it. So we will go here and we will import vector math, okay, and math 64 as dot 64 dot and as vector 3. We can call it vector 3. And then here in the vector 3 it will now so we have the vector 3 now, and now it will take few parameters, so 3 parameters, and for all those 3 parameters I'm gonna just pass the scale. So scale comma scale comma scale, and still it's not working for some reason. Vector 3 refers to an imported profile, blah blah blah. Okay, so we did one mistake. It should not be as vector 3 because it's a part of vector math 64, so it should be show vector 3, so that we can have access to vector 3. And now as you can see, whatever my last scaling was, it is set to that. Let me just give you another brief. So now if I'll just try to go here, and you can see it's scaling, okay, and I want to scale it from the center. So for that what I can do, there is one more property, alignment, and I can say fractional offset dot center, so that it brings everything to the center. And now I can zoom in and zoom out, as you can see, and yes, this is looking perfect, okay. And yeah, so this is what we wanted, right? And you can see everything is fine. Now let me just delete these two, let me just comment these two things, and now I'm gonna just again show you how it is working actually. So when I will touch it, you will see scaling is started, but it will not do anything until I have on scale update. So I'll just open on scale update, I'll just clean it again, and now I will start the scaling again, and as soon as I will drop it, it will be there, but it's still not complete because we have to end it so that the previous scale can be set to 1.0. and now if I'll do that, then you can see it will have access to the previous state as well. So that's what we can do. And then if you want to rotate it, so then also you can just wrap it with a rotated box, and you can rotate it like if I want, I can just wrap it with a rotated box, and there's a property called quad turns. If I will say let's say if you are going into the landscape mode, if you want to perform something in the landscape mode, then I can just rotate it by 1. It will take 1 turn and it will go to the you can see it's now in the landscape mode. So you can do that if you want to give some landscape option as well, and you can just have a button here which will do the work for you. So that's how you can implement zoom in and zoom out. It's very easy in Flutter. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then press the like button, subscribe to the channel again, and press the bell icon to get future updates. Also share this video with others who wants to learn Flutter, and the source code will be available on GitHub, so you can check it out. The link is in the description. Bye bye, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.